Hey friends, it's Amy Dove, the Keto Queen. It's Monday to a brand new week I'm super excited about. I hope you guys had a great one. We're making a keto hamburger helper tonight in the kitchen. And I love hamburger helper. When I was growing up, that was just one of the staples in my house because I didn't know how to cook. So when we first got married and I first had my kids, we kept the house stocked with hamburger helper. Definitely not the keto version. But guys, if you love hamburger helper or you love hamburger casseroles, you're going to love this. It's so easy and delicious. As you're jumping on, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from, and go ahead and hit that share button, guys, so we can show everyone how delicious this meal is. So the two main ingredients for this hamburger helper is ground beef. I've got 1 pound of ground beef, and I'm using a steam bag of green beans. Now with this recipe, you can use fresh green beans that are steamed, or you can also use canned green beans, and it tastes delicious. I actually love it with canned green beans, but they didn't have any canned green beans at the grocery store, if you can believe that. So I went with fresh. Guys, we are gonna add some cream cheese. You need about 3 ounces of cream cheese, and we're gonna add this right to the ground beef and let it start to melt before we add our next ingredients. Guys, if you're looking for something fast and delicious in the kitchen, you will love this. I love casseroles, and this one is just so super easy and delicious. Let me get some paper towels. There are only a very few ingredients to this recipe, which I love, and I would love to know what you guys are doing for dinner tonight. So tell me where you're watching from and what you're doing for dinner tonight. I'm so excited to find out who all's watching from all across the U.S. and outside. So we've got our ground beef. Now I'm using 1 pound of ground beef because these days I'm cooking for 2, right? The kids are gone, so it's just me and Ricky. And between me and Ricky, I'm telling you, we can chow down on 1 pound of ground beef. So I don't know if there will be any left over because Ricky is a growing man. He loves his big plates. But if there is any left over, I love casseroles for lunch. You also can freeze casseroles. Like, I love to make any type of casserole. So we've got our 9 by 13 casserole dish out here on the stove top that we'll be adding all of this to. So if you're using canned green beans, you want to go ahead and open up that can and drain all the water. You don't want any liquid from that can, so drain your cans. And if you're using a fresh bag or fresh green beans, go ahead and steam them so they're ready. Now when you steam them, they don't need to be all the way steamed, like you don't want them mushy. You just want them soft because we are putting this in the oven. The oven's on 350. And let me go ahead and get our next ingredient ready. The next ingredient, guys, is beef broth. I had to remember. The next ingredient is beef broth, and we're going to add a 1/2 cup of beef broth. And we can add it as this is warming up, so I just turned that off. You guys know my eye gets really, really hot. So we've got the heat on low heat just to melt this cream cheese, and the next ingredient is beef broth. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of beef broth right to this ground beef, and look how, it looks good already. I love cream cheese. Like, I love cream cheese. We're making the actual sauce for the hamburger helper. So, you know, hamburger helper has a sauce. My favorite one growing up was beef stroganoff. I love the beef stroganoff, and I also love like the original hamburger helper. So guys, if you're a fan of hamburger helper, maybe now, maybe in your past days, I would love to know your favorite hamburger helper flavor. What was your favorite hamburger helper box? We love the beef stroganoff, and we also love just the regular hamburger helper. I loved all the ones with the potatoes in it. But tonight we're making a hamburger helper that I'm telling you is very similar to taste and absolutely delicious. So we've got 1 pound of ground beef. We got 3 ounces of cream cheese. That cream cheese is just melting with the ground beef. We're going to add our third ingredient, which is a 1/2 cup of beef broth. So we're going to add that beef broth, and we're going to add a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And what we're going to do is create a simmer. We're going to let this beef broth and the cream cheese and the heavy cream and the ground beef and the seasonings I'm fixing to add. We're just going to stir this up and let it simmer, letting this thicken just a little bit. And guys, you know, if heavy cream is on high heat or on medium heat to a simmer, it starts to thicken. Now, we're not making this super, super thick. We just want a sauce. So let me add the seasonings. Can you imagine what they are? I know you guys know that I love garlic, so there is definitely garlic going in here. But we're going to start off with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. half a teaspoon of salt, and my favorite salt is Redmond's Real Salt. We're going to do a half a teaspoon of pepper. You can add more seasonings if you want. Half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of pepper. We're also going to do a half teaspoon of onion powder. Now, if you want to, you can chop up some fine onion and actually cook it in the hamburger meat, but I'm just going to use some onion powder. Half a teaspoon, and then we're going to whip out the whole teaspoon of garlic powder, because I love garlic. Again, you can add more or less seasoning, but I mean, seasoning is what makes the food taste great, right? Seasoning and great ingredients. And that's it. We're going to stir this up, making sure it's seasoned really well. We're going to put this on a simmer just to let this heavy cream and these delicious flavors here simmer together with this 1 pound of ground beef. Guys, if you're cooking for a lot of people, you can double, you can triple this recipe. I'm telling you, it is delicious. It is great for family gatherings. It's great for Sunday lunch. It is great for parties. Like, we really enjoy this hamburger helper. Again, you can use canned green beans. So you can use canned green beans, or you can use, or you can use fresh green beans. We really enjoy it both ways. I actually prefer, and this is very rare for me to say, but I actually prefer canned green beans in this. Ask me why, I don't know. But I do. I rarely ever have a canned green bean, but it's really good in this hamburger helper. I am using fresh tonight. So, let's see here. Let me get this going. Let me put the top back on this so I don't lose my top to the onion powder. And guys, as this starts to simmer and thicken just a little, we're going to take this, the green beans, we're going to take the sauce, we're going to stir it together, ever so gently if you're using fresh green beans so you don't rip it to pieces. We're going to put it in this 9x13, guys, and then we're going to top it off with a little bit of cheese because it's a casserole, right? So hamburger helper has a lot of them are cheesy hamburger helpers. I didn't really like the cheesy ones. I love the stroganoff. That was my favorite. But what we're going to do is top it off with a little bit of mozzarella and a little bit of cheddar. Now, you can leave the cheese out if you want to. There's already some cream cheese in this, making this beautiful sauce. But it's really good. Even if you just put a little bit of cheese over the top, it's really, really, really good. Thank you, Robin. One of my friends from the page actually sent me these from Pampered Shelf. So it's a little teaspoon, and it's got the readings here. So it goes, this one's a teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon, a half, a fourth, and an eighth. And then there's a bigger one that has tablespoon. So I got a tablespoon, 2.5 tablespoons. Well, that don't make sense. Oh, 2.5 teaspoons, I'm sorry. So it's got a teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons, 2.5 teaspoons, or a tablespoon. So I like this one too. Yeah, those are really cool. They came from Pampered Shelf, and I wish I could, I'm so bad. I wish I could remember exactly who sent them to me. And I'm so sorry that I can't remember. I should remember everything. I'm so sorry. But I love them. Thank you, thank you. All right. So we're just going to let this simmer, guys. Do you have any questions for me while we're waiting? Because now it's just a waiting game to let this simmer. Fast, easy, delicious keto is what I'm all about. Fast, easy, delicious, low carb. That's what I'm all about. The difference between keto and low carb as far as these dinners go that I'm preparing for you is the amount of carbs. So, or the serving amount. So we know that we're going to add up our carbs and we're going to divide that by however many servings you create in this casserole. So my green beans have four, let's see, let's do this together. I want to make sure y'all see me do this. So we're going to net out the green beans. So it says there's 4 servings. A cup is 1 serving. So there's 4 servings. We got 6 total carbs, 2 fibers. So what does that mean? It means we got 4 net carbs per serving. There's 4 servings. So guys, how many is that? Let's do the math together. So we got 4 servings and there's 4 carbs per serving. And that's going to go in this entire dish. Okay, there's no carbs in the ground beef. There's 3 carbs in the cream cheese. Okay, so we got the cream cheese, we got the green beans. There is, I did a half a cup. There is, how many tablespoons are in a half a cup? So we have to add it up. So all we do is take the total net carbs, we add them together, and that's how many is in this dish. Now the dish, the servings depend on how many servings you want to make. You can make 6, you can make 8, you can make 20. It's up to you on how many servings you want to make out of your casserole dish. And the difference between low carb and keto with these dishes I'm creating for you is how many servings you're going to make. If you're eating super strict keto or super low carb, then you know you want to eat less servings. If you haven't eaten today or you've only had very few carbs and you've got room, then you can eat more. But all of the dishes I cook for you are considered keto, unless you just double up on servings. Hey Marlis, how are you? Let's see, if you don't like green beans. Oh man, if you don't like green beans, I'm not really sure what to tell you. This would probably be good with any vegetable, but the green beans kind of make this a hamburger helper. So you can substitute it out with another vegetable and see what you think. Oh yes, I love the brown sugar green beans too, Brenda. They are delicious. Kay, I personally love butter. And my favorite is the Kerrygold. It is on the pricier side, but it's just so delicious. I also love Land O'Lakes. Those are just my two favorite picks if I was going to pick a butter. But as long as it's a real butter, that's the point. You want to make sure you get a real butter and not a margarine. So a real butter is what you really need. Thank you, Mary. Well, that's so awesome that you just said that. Mary is low carb, not keto. And that's what I was just talking about. So you actually can cook all of these meals I'm cooking for you and just eat more carbs. The difference between keto and low carb is just the number of carbs. So, and the difference in the outcomes of keto and low carb is just when you eat very few carbs, like 25 net carbs or less, most all of us will reach that state of ketosis where our body is running on ketones instead of sugar. Never had hamburger helper. Oh man. Well, this is really good, Brenda. You'll love this even if you've never had hamburger helper a day in your life, which is good if you haven't. Donna doesn't like hamburger helper. She only makes homemade. That's awesome. Ooh, codfish in the air fryer. That all sounds delicious. You guys are doing. Oh, Carol doesn't have a favorite. She likes them all. Hey, Amanda. Let's see, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Oh, I just missed you. What happened? I had Amanda pulled up. What the world? Amanda opened up your comment and it just scrolled you away. There you are. Nope, that's not you. Dang. Okay, well, I'm going to go back in a minute and look at all my comments. Let me look and see what's up with everybody. Hey, Bridget, I hope you're doing well. This is her absolute fave. There's Amanda. We make this weekly. Amanda loves this. I don't use all the beef broth it calls for, and I add a little more cream cheese, and I do half sausage, half ground beef. That sounds amazing, Amanda. Yeah, I kind of changed up the recipe on this too from a long time ago. I ran across something almost exactly like this on Pinterest, but I definitely changed up the ingredients because I didn't like all the things either, or the amount of the things. But guys, look how good this is looking. So when you simmer your heavy cream, it starts to thicken. You see that little thickness now? It's not just water. It's got a little texture to it. Now you can make this as thick as you want to. The goal is to make it a sauce. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we're going to keep on simmering. But yes, I don't have this on a weekly basis, but we love this recipe. Washington State last night. Keto lasagna. Yum. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, Elizabeth. I actually got this sweater as a hand-me-down for my daughter. She was going to get rid of it. I'm like, get rid of it? This thing is so cute. And she said, well, I've worn it so many times. So I go, well, I've only worn it twice, so I will take that baby. So we share clothes a lot. Amanda also adds chopped onion to hers. That sounds good. I love sausage and ground beef together. I can't even talk. I love sausage and ground beef together. You know, Ricky's a meat lover fan, so he would be so happy if I added sausage to this. Let's see. Beef stroganoff also. This really tastes like a beef stroganoff to me. That's why I love it so much. Hamburger, steak, and mushroom gravy sounds amazing, Renee. I think I got to the bottom. You guys are awesome. I hope you've had a great day. You know I love Mondays. Monday's my favorite day of the week. It's the day that we get to set the tone of how we want our week to go. If you start off Monday hating life or hating your job or hating what's going on in the world, then I can promise you the whole week is going to suck. That's just the way it is. Our minds work that way. So when we wake up on Monday and we smile and we're so excited to start a brand new week and we look forward to the things that we're going to see and the things we're going to get to do and the people we're going to get to come in contact with, even if you don't even know what's happening this week, you wake up on Monday morning, you're like, oh, I'm so thankful. Thank you, Lord, for this day and this new week that's coming. I can't wait to see who you put me in contact with this week. I can't wait to see what adventures I get to experience this week. So like literally when you wake up on Mondays and you have that mindset, not even knowing what your week is going to hold, even though some of us know what our week's going to hold. It's going to be crazy, right? We're going to have crazy days. That's life. But when you wake up and you're just thankful and you look forward to what is coming, it really sets the mood for the entire week. It doesn't even have to have fat loss goals, but you know that is a goal for all of us, whether it's maintaining or continuing in our fat loss goals. But just waking up on Monday and saying, I'm not starting all over on Monday. That's not the point. Mondays are not the start date every single week. You have a start date. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on track. But Mondays is the day that we get to say, oh, wow, it's a brand new week. Let's see what is going to happen this week. I'm so excited about this week. Amanda says, have you tried the pizza casserole recipe? No. I found and make, it's a fantastic, even a pizza casserole. It sounds amazing. I love pizza. All right, so look at this. It's gotten a lot thicker still. I mean, it's looking good. There's hardly any water. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and transfer it over. So we're going to turn this off. Now, you can keep on letting it simmer if you want to it to get a little thicker, because as it cooks in the oven, it's going to thin out some. Keep that in mind. So if you want it to be a little thicker, you can certainly do that. I'm going to let it keep on going while I'm getting my green beans prepared. I'm actually going to put my green beans on the bottom so that when I stir it, I'm doing so very carefully, because I did steam bag these. Again, you can use canned green beans if you prefer. It actually is really good with canned green beans. Just make sure you drain the green beans. You don't want the extra water in the dish. There's already liquid from the skillet. All right, we're just going to put these right in the skillet. I said skillet, right into the casserole dish. My oven's on 350. We're going to move this right over. If I can get them out. Now, Ricky's going to love this because I only did a little bit of green beans. Now, normally I would like triple this because I love my veggies. But Ricky's a meat lover, man. And I'm just cooking for 2 people, not 5. So I'm trying to downsize. It's really hard, guys. Like I hear from you guys all the time about it's so hard to cook for 1 person. I'm like, just cook less. It is hard. I have to say, you guys are right. It is not easy just to cook for 2 people. But thankfully, we do eat leftovers, or I do. And my daughter comes over on the weekends, and we chow down on what's left. So, guys, we're going to pour this meat mix right over the green beans. And we're going to mix it up, and then we're going to top it off with some cheese. Now, this dish is way too big for this little bit of ingredients, but I couldn't find my small one anywhere. So, someone must have borrowed it. It smells so yummy. I mean, this smells so yummy. That's what it looks like right now. We're going to go ahead and stir it up and then top it off with cheese. Now, I'm using, what am I using? I'm using mozzarella and cheddar. Now, I love to add the cheese to the top of mine. You don't have to. You can totally leave the cheese off if you want to. If this was just for me, I would be loading it up with green beans. I would have 2 bags of green beans to that pound of ground beef, or even 3. Like, I love my veggies. This is going to, Ricky's eyes are going to be so happy when he sees this, because he's going to be like, oh my gosh, there's so much meat. And that's exactly what he likes. So this is just the way I'm cooking it tonight. You'll see other times I add a lot more vegetables. Guys, the thing about this, in any recipe I present to you guys, is that you can use it to create your own. Just like Amanda and I are talking about. We find recipes. We've been living low carb for a long, long time. Amanda over 15 years. So y'all give Amanda some hearts. Like, she's amazing. She's been living low carb for 15 years. I've been keto for 5 years in April. So excited about it. And a lot of times we run across recipes and we're like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. But what if? What if? Like someone asked, what if you don't like green beans? Play with it. Guys, you can make your own recipes from variations of other things you find. And you can make them better, or you can make them fit your family better. So you're never going to hurt my feelings if you take a recipe and be like, oh my God, maybe that sounds so good, but I'm going to do it this way. Go for it. Have fun. Have fun in the kitchen. For sure. I want you to have fun in the kitchen. So I've got a mess here. I'm going to have to clean that up because it's going to drive me crazy. Broccoli? You can't put broccoli in this.
Why can't you? You just said you can put anything.
You can put anything, but I wouldn't do broccoli. We're making a stroganoff. These green beans, for whatever reason, when they cook with this, it really makes it taste almost like the potatoes from a hamburger helper. So I know, yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth, guys. And look, I can't stand this. I don't have enough green beans. Ricky's going to be so happy, but I wish I had more green beans. That's okay. I'm trying to move them around, so I got green beans everywhere. All right, and then we're going to take our mozzarella and the cheddar. And again, you can leave this off. You can choose one. You can use any kind of cheese you want to. Pepper jack would be really fantastic in it.
Honking like a aggravating coming home?
Yeah, he was. Just aggravating me.
Okay.
Aggravating poop out of me. Aggravating the absolute poop. My son drove up behind me, was honking the horn like he was a madman. Like, what in the world are you doing in my house? All right, whoops. All right, and I'm just going to top it off with a little bit. We got the oven on 350. We're going to transfer this right over. And guys, it's already cooked. The green beans are cooked. The green beans are cooked. They're not super, super soft. We just half steamed them. The ground beef is cooked. Like, everything is ready. The oven is really to help melt the cheese, help all the sauces come together again, because we just added the green beans to the sauce. And it's going to cook for about 20-25 minutes. So I know Ricky's probably fixing to frown at me now because we've got to wait 25 minutes. But you really want this cheese to be really bubbly, and you want those seasonings to be really combined. The green beans need to cook just a few more minutes to get soft.
Here.
I'll take that.
Fixing to,
Hang on, now just put a piece of cheese on now.
You're fixing to talk for 25 minutes and then cook your mouth off.
Oh, he's funny. Hang on a minute. Thank you. He thinks he's funny, y'all. All right, and I'm gonna add a little bit of cheddar. Oh, come here, Ricky. Show him your new cut.
New cut.
Yeah, come here, Ricky. Y'all gotta see Ricky's haircut. He cut the straggly beard down for me. One more weekend of hunting. One more weekend of hunting. I'm so excited that it's almost over. Just because I miss my date nights. Like, I miss my date nights. We work together, but we rarely see each other. So, like, I miss him. And then when we come home at night, he's snoring by 7:30 because he gets up early in the morning to go to the gym, which I'm so happy he does that. But every once in a while, I'd like to, like, talk and watch TV. But look how handsome he is. I'm telling you all these things when he's right behind me. So I ain't talking about him. I'm talking with him. Look how handsome. He's got his famous orange shirt on. What? He's so handsome. Cut that beard down. Oh, he's so handsome. Look, when the dog walked in, she was barking. I said, you just jealous, girl. You wished you had a handsome man. All right. He's hungry. All right, I'm adding some cheddar just because I want to. You don't have to, guys. This is my casserole. Again, you can make it however you see fit for you and your family. If you're lactose intolerant, you don't have to add any of the extra cheese. But guys, the sauce is important. You want the sauce to taste great. So use that little 3 ounces. Even back it down to 2 ounces if you want to. But look how pretty this is. That looks fantastic. All right, now if you want more, you can do more. I'm gonna stop right here and we're gonna put it straight into the oven. So actually I'm gonna put it in the oven, then I'll come talk to you. The seasonings again were a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half teaspoon of onion powder, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of pepper. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'll be right back. All right, real fast before I have to clean up all this mess, let me see if you guys have any questions for me. Just going to go to those very last comments I was just reading. And make sure you guys don't need me for anything before we jump off for tonight. Let's see. Let me go back up a little bit. I see some questions. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. If I can have time, I always like to answer. Okay.
What's going on, guys? Today we're here in the shop, and because you don't follow us on social media or you're not on Facebook or.
So what do we subtract from the total number of carbs? Just dietary fiber. Great question, Amy. So when you're looking at your carb counts, you want to subtract fiber, okay? And there is a rule on sugar alcohols. I'm going to tell you what the rule is, and I'm going to tell you what my advice is. When you look at a package, you can subtract the fiber and you can subtract all of the sugar alcohols. Now, make sure you understand there's a difference between sugar and sugar alcohols. Sugar alcohols, in most cases, are the keto-friendly sweeteners, so it lets you know that it's keto-friendly. My advice to you is to only subtract half of the sugar alcohols. Let me tell you why. This is my advice. It's not the rule. The rule is subtract fiber and sugar alcohols. Make sure it's not just sugar. It'll say sugar alcohols. My advice on subtracting half of sugar alcohols is because most items that have sugar alcohols are packaged processed products. And they may be keto friendly. They may only have 1 net carb in a package. However, if you're eating a lot of processed food, it's just in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's just not going to be good for you long-term health because you're going to get used to always eating packaged processed because it only has one carb. So it just gives you extra thought into what you're buying and what you're purchasing. Plus, those products are usually a lot more expensive than just clean eating, which is protein, vegetables, healthy fats. Just like tonight's dinner, there's no processed anything. It's just a healthy dinner. I don't think bone broth is processed. I mean, maybe it is, maybe I'm wrong. But I know cookies and chips and things that I love on occasion too, I buy and I eat on occasion. I still don't subtract all of the sugar alcohols because I don't want to sit at home eating a whole box of chocolates just because there's one carb in every 3 pieces. So that's the rule, is subtract fiber and sugar alcohols. I suggest half the sugar alcohols. That's just a suggestion of mine. Carol says 25 net carbs and 50 to 150. Is that right? So it's 25 or less net carbs a day for keto if you want to live a keto lifestyle, creating ketones by your body. Low carb, there's a lot of variations, but most will tell you when you stay between 50 and 150 carbs a day, that's considered low carb. Other people may even increase that 150 to 200, but low carb is generally considered 50 to 150. So a lot of people say, well, then what goes between 25 and 50? Some people actually can eat 50 net carbs like Ricky and go to the gym and he's still going to be in ketosis, but most of us need to keep our net carbs at 25 or less per day to reach that state of ketosis and to stay there. So you're really considered low carb if it's anywhere between the 25 and 50 as well, but those are just the rules that are out there. And they're really just suggestions. Everybody's a little different. I myself, if I keep at 20 net carbs or less, I'll stay in nutritional ketosis. If I get close to 25, I'm out. The only reason I stay in at 25 or more is because I'm drinking my ketones. And those ketones put you in ketosis as well. So with food, nutritional ketosis, I keep mine around 20 net carbs or less. Doris is having a pecan crusted chicken. I sure hope you love it, Doris. We had it last night and it was so delicious. Oh my gosh, it was so good. On the canned green beans, Brenda, again, you can do more vegetables than I did tonight. So on the canned green beans, I'd probably buy the 16 ounce and I'd probably do 2 cans of green beans if I was going to do 1 pound of ground beef. Have you tried the pizza okay, Amanda just asked me that. I sure have not. Sounds amazing. Unstuffed cabbage roll. Love it, Tammy. What if you're not able to do the real butter because of health? I can barely do margarine. Hope, I would want you to talk to your doctor to find out more information, or for you to for it to be explained to you so that you understand why you can't have real butter and why you can barely do margarine. Like, margarine is just a processed, like, it's not real. Butter is real. So I would definitely talk to your doctor and just make sure that they've explained to you so that you understand, because a lot of times, and I'm not talking bad about your physician because I have no idea who he is, or she is, but some physicians they always correlate butter with heart issues, and that's not always the case. So I always tell everybody, just make sure you have a doctor you can talk to, because they should easily be able to explain to you exactly why they want you to do the things they want you to. And if they can explain it and you feel good about it, keep on doing exactly what your doctor's telling you to do. As far as healthy fats, Hope, you don't have to use butter. So if your doctor is telling you, hey, you need to stay away from the butter, stay away from the butter after he explains to you why. But then you can use avocado oil instead of butter. You can use olive oil instead of butter. You can use coconut oil instead of butter. So, like, there's a lot of healthy fat options that is not butter. But I love my butter. Let's see. Ooh, Molly's doing cod and squash zucchini. Yum. All that sounds delicious. That is so funny, Roseanne, because guess what? My granddad also used to eat called shit on a shingle. So yes, my granddad used to do that, and he would do it exactly like you're saying. He would cream ground beef and put it on toast, and sometimes he even used, what was it? It wasn't potted meat, but it was some kind of, most of the time it was ground beef. Sometimes he would do sausage, but he would always call it, where'd that come from? It's got to be an older generation. Does anybody else have grandparents that used to eat shit on a shingle? That's what they called it, shit on a shingle. And it was just cream ground beef or sausage over toast. I have no, why in the world they call it that? I don't know. I never asked the question. My I need to ask my granny. My granny is turning 89, guys. This week, my granny is turning 89, and we're going to have her a birthday celebration, just something small, because she don't want nothing. But she's going to be 89, and my granny is, like, amazing. And she is just amazing. She loves her ketones. She loves life. Of course, she's 89, so she's got some issues. Who doesn't? But, I mean, I'm so excited to celebrate with her this weekend. I'll have to ask her about that. I find recipes are just a guideline. That's right, Darlene. We can do whatever the heck we want to with them. I will put this recipe in the blog tonight. Definitely will do that for you guys. Uh-oh, Amanda done started something. Amanda, they want that casserole, girl. You better share it with us. Ricky is so much younger looking than me, isn't he, Alice? He loves to eat that up. He loves it. Cynthia, just give me a call. I'll be glad to help you anytime, I promise. One pan with onion, chicken, spinach, onion, and broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. That sounds delicious, Terry. I'm just looking to see if I have any other questions I need to make sure we answer before I jump off and start cleaning. Karen says she's doing her NAT daily, or ketones every day, less than 20 carbs a day, doing intermittent fasting 17 hours a day, and I'm still in a stall for weeks. Any advice? Having no cream. Oh, Karen. Well, one thing for sure is to not stress, because stress for any woman, I promise you, will keep that stall in motion. Like, you are not going to move if you're stressed. Maybe you should shake it up a little bit, Karen. I know this is crazy to say, but maybe instead of doing that intermittent fasting every single day, maybe you should lessen them hours, maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday, or maybe Saturday and Sunday, just for a couple of weeks, and then go back into your routine. Sometimes just shaking it up when you've been doing this for a long time really does help. I know it sounds crazy, but it does work sometimes. Guys, that does not give you permission to have a carb day. That's not what I asked her to do. You'd always want to stick to the no sugar. The no sugar is so important. Oh, here's Candy. My nurse practitioner said 50 or less carbs helps with weight loss. True. But I've been staying around 20 to 25 and go to the gym, so I'm feeling great. I made your tortilla chicken pizza recipe today, and my family loved it. Oh, yes. You should try the bagel bites with almond flour. Well, send them to me, girlfriend. Sounds good. Comes from servicemen, they say. I'm going to have to ask my granny, because, hey, Ricky, was my granddad in the service? I don't think he was. He was a police officer. He was a police officer, but he wasn't in the military. Do what, baby? Yeah, but he never was in the military, was he? I don't remember him being in the military. My dad's dad was. My dad's real dad died when he was 2. And then my granddad come into his life and basically was his dad. Let's see. Do you ever experience muscle cramps eating keto? Katie, in the beginning, you certainly can have symptoms of keto flu, which can cause the muscle cramps, like Charlie horses. So I would recommend definitely adding an electrolyte. Just get you a good, simple electrolyte. Doesn't need to be sports drinks. I love ours called Mitoplex. It's amazing. But get you a good electrolyte. And then also make sure you're adding plenty of water in your day. And make sure you've changed your white salt to a pink Himalayan or a real good sea salt. And those things will help you with electrolyte balances. A lot of times the keto flu is from electrolyte imbalances, and you just want to make sure that you're having plenty of minerals added to your day. Okay, well, so our granddads wasn't the only ones. I see everybody saying their granddad said the same thing. I apologize if I hurt anybody's feelings by saying the curse word. I don't curse very often, but that's what he called it. That's what my granddad said, and he wanted it for lunch. I used to take care of him when he had dementia before he passed away, and that's what he asked me to cook him for lunch. All right. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this mess. It looks like we got to the end. I hope you guys have had a great day. I will have this recipe in this post as soon as I hit finished, and then later I will post it again on a plate, or at least the casserole dish finished, so you can see what it looks like with the ingredients in the blog for you guys. I hope you have an awesome night, and if I can help you in any way, just send me a message. Bye, guys.